some toys in here.
What's up, everyone? Today it's the Man-Child. Okay, so today for review, going to take a look at the new Masterverse Revolution Gwildor and Orko 2-pack. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. They took this, the later version of Orko in the Revelation cartoon after he died, and Evil Lyn brought him back, bring back the army to dead, or the dead, and Orko came back with this new robe and attire. I thought it was different and just, yeah, white. It was just a different look for Orko. I liked it. And now we have another modernized version of Gwildor. Now, of course, they had Gwildor first appeared in the 1987 movie. The vintage toy line made a Gwildor, which I did have. The classics line also made a Gwildor, and now we have a Masterverse. You know, he wasn't always a favorite character going back to the movie today, because it was sort of the replacement for Orko, because they just didn't have the CGI, and it would have been too expensive to animate him, so they sort of replaced him with Gwildor. But now he's his own character, you know, years later. And then, like everything today, now most of these figures, or even the movie itself, has a cult following. So it's interesting to see these figures remastered once again, and I think the best option is the Masterverse line. Anyway, we got some cool art going on. The art's awesome on this box, by the way. I love the size of the window. It's just enough to see both figures. It's a really cool looking box. You know, and yeah, so we got these two. It looks like Gwildor's holding the, I want to say, the vintage-inspired Cosmic Key, not the movie one. So once again, going back to that vintage-inspired figure, had a key, something like that. But of course, this is going to be more detailed, looks like. And it's also interesting that they're saying Master Universe Revolution on this box. So I'm wondering if Gwildor will now be in that Revolution cartoon alongside Orko. That's coming this January. Anyway, I think it's really cool to get this set, and I can't wait to review them. And here's a quick look at the picture images on the back of the box. So yeah, we just basically have images of the figures inside. So of course we have our Orko up here floating up top. Looks like he comes with a articulated figure stand. Of course, Gwildor. He's holding the augmented power sword after the two, ends from the Revelation cartoon were merged or forged. So that's pretty cool. You get that still heated up. It looks like you get this magic ring effect, going back to that magic effect that Orko defeated Scareglow with in the Revolution cartoon. I'm assuming that's what that's from. You get a bunch of other cool accessories like the staff, once again a Cosmic Key, and some other magic effects on Orko's hands. And here's a close-up of the bio if you want to pause and read that. And dropping down, these are all 4 figures as part of the Wave 11 series. And now here's a look at a little more interesting art on the right-hand side of the box, looking from the window. So once again, we have Orko floating up top, casting some spells, magic spells out of his hands. Gwildor is the inventor. And what's interesting is if you look on the image here, the staff is lighting up. It almost looks like an LED bulb or something like that. I wonder if that staff, as an accessory, has an LED light inside the box. That's going to be cool to see. Okay, and here's a quick look with all the figures and accessories out of box. I mean, I gotta be honest, this is a really cool set. Just, having Orko, Gwildor, and all these parts and stuff, the magic effects, it's fun to have in hand. Yeah, and the staff, by the way, it has like a crystal, plastic, mimic crystal kind of thing. It's not LED. Missed opportunity. It could have been bigger. You could have put a switch in there. Whatever, customize what you want, put something like that. But I just want to make that clear. Aside that, yeah, I'm really liking these 2 figures in the setup. So first up, let's check out Orko and his stand. So yeah, of course we have the Orko that reappeared in Revelation. I think it was season 2, right, where he came back. After, as I said earlier in the video, where Evil Lyn, I think she tried to raise the dead and somehow brought Orko back. It didn't explain why, or maybe I missed that part. Anyways, has a whole new form, right? So his rebirth, and has this white cloak and robe, which I think is a cool look for Orko. I like that. I don't know, it's just something different about it. Now, in the box, he comes with the figure stand. I did remove it just to, put it back on a second, just to give you a better look at it. So there's a peg, it's fully articulated. So not only does the peg articulate, right, you have articulation down in the base here and go, up and down. The whole thing can spin around. Yeah, it's molded in this clear swirly effect, like magic or something coming off the ground as he's floating, energy. And in this part, it's going to be for that energy ring clip, which I'll show in a little bit. Well, inside that, pretty cool. So taking a closer look at Orko before we put him back on the stand. Yeah, eyes are just, it looks awesome. I really like the way it came out. Now, it looks like a similar, so I'm going to bring in the first release, Revelation Orko, that came with Savage He-Man. So just quick comparison. Yeah, the eyes look, I mean, it's sculpted in the head. They look the same side. These are a little darker or something. And now this Orko, they're brighter. Could just be the paint. but well done. So, of course, he has a new wizard hat, all white, right? The ears are all part of the sculpt coming out of it, independently painted. Yeah, I like it, though, the whole look. Anyway, as far as the articulation, so check this out. He can go all, like, look all the way down like that with the hat and hide the face, go back, spin all around, and it's funny because when you push him down, he almost tucks his whole head with the hat down inside this this piece on the robe here. That's pretty cool. So does it? I don't know if it's just the articulation. Now I believe it can. Let me see something. Okay, so it pops right off. Right there's the peg, standard Masterverse peg, and that's what the head would look like. And then while I have the head off for a second, just to go back to this outer piece that sits on a robe, you can see, like, so it is a separate piece. See that? It's flexible, moves all around. You can see all the details and stuff in it. Yeah, the symbol here. It's plugged in. Mine's plugged into the body. It looks like it's glued in. So if you want to remove it, you could, but you're going to have a peg hole in there. Or for whatever reason, want to customize it and like it or something. I don't know why you would. But it is possible anyway. It is a separate piece. Yeah, I like the gold trim all around it, just the paint. Mine, a little sloppy here. A little bit of stuff. You can even touch it up with a gold marker. I have those. Alright, so putting the head back on, we already took a look at the articulation. Of course, took it off. And of course, looked at this scarf / outer extension of his robe. Symbol and designs. As far as the arm articulation, so now, of course, Orko has, short or sleeves all the way up to the elbows, which is cool. Looks like they're kind of flailing outward as he's flying. I like the gold trim around, the outer edges of the sleeves. Now, that was another thing a lot of people didn't like, bringing in this Orko once again. Didn't like that he was missing the sleeves. Going back to the vintage style Orko, he always had sleeves. So it's cool he did that. As far as the articulation, so he has a hinge joint there, if you can see that. And so he can go up, but he can go more forward to the face. So see, up, forward, spin all around kind of thing. As far as the arms now, they have hinge joints in there too. How about that? So they're kind of limited because of the sleeve. They can only straighten out by that far. Go up, and it could, spin all around inside the sleeve. And now the hands have no joints. They're just pre-posed fingers reaching out, like getting ready to cast magic spells, which is fine. And the other arm and sleeve looks like it's all the same as far as the articulation, right? So you go up, down, it's a hinge joint, and then same thing, same type of finger, and they're both very identical, side, left, and right side as far as the fingers. And now just moving down, taking a look at the rest of his robe. So of course we're going to pull a scarf, extended scarf piece out of the way, I'll call it. Yeah, I like that white color, as I said earlier, just a hat. I don't know, it's different to me, but I like this gold trim with he painted around the outside. And you can see how flexible this is, and where the plug-in is, and that's about all there is to Orko. And now going back to this flight stand, so it's just going to push and plug in like that. And again, it was on in the package, and I just removed it. And now here's Orko plugged back into his flight stand. So you take a look at the overall design and what he looks like floating. Yeah, I think that's a genius design for a clear flight stand to add with this Orko figure. So once he's, now that he's plugged into it, so of course you can spin all around, check that out. Because of all articulation, you can position him like he's floating down, looking up, side to side, and then you have all this, articulation as well. Spin him in all kinds of different positions, which is, really cool. So moving on to Orko's accessories, so he also comes with this additional scarf tail, right? So check out, it's really flexible, long. It's, interesting piece to add to Orko. And if you can see that, pulling up the back of the scarf, there's a plug, a clear plug in there, and you can see the hole in the back, obviously, in the scarf. And then it's just going to plug in like this. Goes on real easy. And now here's a look at that setup with the scarf tail plugged into the back. Orko once again flying up high in the stand. So the next accessory for Orko is this really cool magic ring. Check that out. So it's fully articulated. It comes like that. It's kind of, you can see how it's just the two pieces are pinned together. And yeah, I like the way it articulates and opens up to this magic effect. Going back to how he, like in the show, how he casted that around. I don't know if it's a force field or just an energy blast or something, but yeah, awesome they included that. And I love how it's just casted in a translucent blue and just how all the energy is pulsating through both rings. And going back to Orko once again, so you can see, as I showed earlier, right, there's this little clip on this flight stand base. Check that out. It's actually articulated, this piece. I just noticed that. So I think it's easier to keep this closed, locked, doesn't matter where. One of these ends in like this till you got to, okay, and snap it until it locks. And now, once again, here's a look at Orko on his flight stand. We have the extra scarf tail on, and of course, this magic ring effect. So I'll already show you how it snaps in. You got to mess around, but you can see how it locks. You want these two clip ends to be fully over this piece. Once it's on, Yeah, it's pretty cool. You can articulate this. It makes sense to open it all the way up. That's what he's trying to do, or however you want it. And then at the same time, too, now you could put this tail end over it, under it. Just going to leave it over it for now. And move Orko all around inside that force field or ring, however you want to position them, with this ring in place at the same time. Articulate it as it's forming, or once it's, fully formed, it kind of looks something like that. Awesome accessory. And then for Orko's final accessories, he also comes with a pair of magic effects for the hands. Again, this molded in a translucent plastic, very identical to that ring. And what's cool with these is, so they're, you can see how soft, flexible they are. They actually split open, so you can put it over the arm. I'm assuming the arm goes in here, right? The hands will come out the side. Looks like there's even maybe there's little ends that poke the fingers through, and they're look like they're both identical for left and right side. And now putting these magic effects on, so like I said, they're just gonna open up, go over the arm, and close. And I guess you don't have to put the fingers through. Looks like you can if you wanted to, or they could just free float or something like that. That works too. And I'll put this one on the left side. And now here's one last look at Orko all set up. Right, we got him on the flight stand, got the little scarf, extra scarf piece, the ring, the magic effects on the hands. We'll take a look at that. And yeah, I love that they included all this stuff for this new Orko. It just really made him more interesting than just getting a Orko by himself and nothing, comes with him. So the other thing I wanted to do too is bring in the first Revelation Orko that came with that 2-pack with Savage He-Man. And I wanted to see how he works with the stand and the setup. Just in case you like that Orko, you got this set and you want to use those parts and mix things around. So yeah, obviously he can sit on the stand. He is loose. The plug doesn't exactly fit him. See, it's loose, but it can work. You can always put putty in there or something like that. Once you reinforce or tighten it up, you can adjust everything with this Orko. And then those magic effects, they go on the hands. They are loose and sloppy. This Orko had limited articulation, just like that. It was just 2 hinge joints. Where this other one has a little bit more. But if you wanted to mess around with it, okay, and use this ring and those magic effects with that Orko, see, he's sloppy on a peg, kind of crooked. It's not possible, can work, and it doesn't look bad. You want to put the work into it. I like that Orko better. And then, of course, bringing this Orko back in again. This is the first Orko's figure stand. I just wanted to show you how so it kind of does catch it. It was a little sloppy. You can see that in there. Just, again, you can use some putty or tape to reinforce it. For some reason, you want it to stand. You want all that stuff or mix things around. It can work, and it would look like that. And now here's a full comparison between the two Orkos without the figure stands or any effects. So you can just kind of see bringing them in, right? We already looked over the heads and the eyes. It's the overall, he had a scarf design, a robe. Different hands on him. His is actually larger. The blues are different colors now. Okay, of course, he had hats are even completely different. I mean, obviously this is white with the ears sticking out. This ears are sculpted different. This Orko has a little piece on the hat there. Okay, and then there's a front and obviously the back. And I guess if you wanted to, let me try to switch the heads around, even though, the different color hats, so we can make it work, and let's see what that looks like. So for a little fun, quick customizing, obviously I took the first Revelation Orko head off and put it on his body. It is kind of tight, does fit. It sort of sits down quite a bit, but if you wanted that setup with that eyes, ears back, and an orange hat, it can work, It's just Master Universe and Orko, right? And it does articulate. Now what's interesting is now when you put this Orko's head on this Orko's body, first release, now this scarf can come off, where this one's plugged in, as I said. You'd have to customize it. This can sit on a body, but the plug doesn't fit. I don't know, it might be just my figure. I might have to put a little, once again, tape or putty. Yeah, check that out. It does not fit on that, but yet that head fits on that body. It's interesting. Side that's a little customization. That's what it would look like. You want to use that white hat on that red body for some reason. All right, so moving on to Gwildor. Yeah, we finally have our Turnian scientist slash inventor slash hobbit kind of character, I guess. I gotta say, again, he did a really good job on him. It's fun having him in hand, and I like having him into the collection now. So checking out the head sculpt, bringing it in, check that out. I mean, really, really cool. Detail and all sculpting in the hair. These long ears here. I like the overall paint. Just the detail in the eyes, where they did all the hair around the face, the extra wash around just the cheeks and the skin. Yeah, really good job. As far as the articulation with this particular head, so he can look all the way left to right, go down about that far and back. Of course, these are all hindered by this hair piece. It's kind of, it's soft, but yet, it's a harder material, I want to say. And as far as the ball pegs, let's see, if we pop the head off, so all right, there's our ball peg. And then with that head off, we can also take this armor piece off. And here's a quick look at that jacket off the body. Just awesome sculpting. You know, it looks like it has knitted material in it. Has pockets. I mean, they're not hollow. Part of the sculpt. Has some gold trim on both sides. You can see how flexible it is. And the way I took it off was bend the arms all the way back. Take a look at that in a second. And there's that soft shoulder armored piece off the body as well. As you just kind of see the design and color of that. And here's a little closer look at the head off the body. Just had a peg set up. Everything inside, sculpting, all good stuff. And while we have everything off the body, we just take a better look at everything. So everything is all part of sculpt at this point. Just a vest and his whole attire, what he wears. Right, so front and back. Even this belt. Okay, so let's take a look at something here. So with the vest off too, so he does have articulation in the abs, in his stomach or ab area, where it can spin, go now because his belly can only go about that far. But he can go all the way back. So I just want to, yeah, confirm there's articulation in there. And then he also has some little like vest clips here, which is cool. All part of his skull, painted gold. Looks like he has another cross strap. That's, again, all part of scope with this robe piece. That's under the vest, but it's not, nothing else is separate. You got this sculpted chain ring for the key, which is a neat idea. Again, it's just, yeah, it's nothing loose. All part of sculpt and painted around everything. Got some extra gold little clips here, right? And then this piece too. It's all the rest of this outer robe or yeah, uniform is, it's all part of scope, but it's neat how they paint it and mixed everything in. So putting everything back on Gwildor, the head, the vest, and this armored piece, as far as so we were looking at the head articulation. We know, once again, with this coat now, how it articulates, right? I can only go about that far forward and back. As far as the arms, too, so they're kind of their own things. As far as, you know, just different color sleeves in here, all sculpted. Has these red bands. Now, are these, oh, okay, these move, too. Check that out. I didn't think they look like they can come off if you want it to. And it actually hides the elbow articulation. But anyway, as far as the articulation with the arms, so you can go all the way up, down, forward, back. Can spin at the elbow, bend. Let me see. How far can you bend at the face? Not too much. Maybe that arm. All right, it's just my articulation. But you can bend up pretty close to the face. Once you work on the articulation, you kind of see, all right, it's a hinge joint in there. And once again, these little red pieces. All right, there they go. So you can slide up the arm, move all around. Let's leave them on. Yeah, it just has open sleeves there, right? Little gold trim painted around. Once again, pretty cool, like Orko or these clips. And yeah, it comes with two semi-weapon gripping hands, I always call them. And they can spin on hinge joints and they can go in or out. And they're painted to match the face. And they even have some extra paint, unlike what would be a sort of almost a cut glove or something like that on the top. And now moving back down to the end of this robe that we already talked about. So once again, we've seen this jacket, how flexible it is. It can come off, and I put it back on. Moving down to the legs now, as far as the articulation, is kind of interesting. So, yeah, short little boot legs that, you know, would come up to here, but you can see in the bottom where they go and the joints in there. So it's just like one, it's kind of like a small thigh piece, and this would be his knee, and then the ankle and the foot. So as far as the articulation with that, you know, so you could spin all around, kind of go about that far forward, and it's going to be hindered by this. But if that was in the way, you do have the articulation where this leg could kick all the way, you know, forward like that. You want to make a cut in here or something if you want to modify it. Now these don't come off. It looks like they're not removable from what I can see. Any of the legs. So, and yeah, this all part of the boot, and he has, all right, so we already said his spin. Your legs are all the same. How far you can go out with a split. All right, you can go about that far. Again, it's all hindered by this coat and stuff, but it is possible because of the joints, the hinges, and then the foot, the articulation, we can go up and down as far as, and then rock side to side, and yeah, it's really sloppy, wow. But it's interesting, he has a lot of articulation for his overall design. And moving on to Gwildor's accessories, so of course he comes with that vintage-inspired cosmic key that the vintage figure kind of came with, but it is detailed a little better. I like it. It has that handle grip, right, and the outer grip for the hand. Just see there's two tones going in there. I even like how it's all silver and it's like a black wash, and the mechanical individual keys are all painted silver, vice versa. I like that. It's pretty neat. And then this piece too, it articulates or spins, goes all around, which is cool, right? And then this outer piece too, it just has its own design, and that's about it. But I like how this was designed for Masterverse. And then he also comes with another power sword that we already seen with a couple He-Man figures in the Revelation line, but this is now supposed to be the augmented sword, or where the two halves are finally joined. You can still see how it's heating up after being forged. And then for his last accessory, of course, he comes with his mechanical staff. So there, once again, he has that crystal on the top. Yeah, it doesn't light up, but a lot of circuitry and stuff all sculpted in, and it's just molded in a flat brown plastic color. Now here's a quick look or action pose with Gwildor set up with the Cosmic Key in the right hand, his mechanical staff in the left. Take a look at that. And now here's a look with the augmented sword accessory with Gwildor holding it, looking down at it where it's still being forged or heated. Kind of like it shows in a box art. I don't know if that's going to be important going back to the Revolution cartoon, if Gwildor is going to be in it, and there's a whole nother thing with a power sword or something, but that's what they show, and that's how I'm setting it up. Okay, so that's my overall review on a new Master Universe, Masterverse, Revolution, Orko, and Gwildor 2-pack. I gotta say, in hand, I couldn't be happier to have them. It's a really cool set. It's something neat now to just have a new version of Orko and Gwildor. And even Gwildor, I wasn't so excited to have them. I mean, I did have the vintage. I do have a Classics one laying around somewhere in a package. And now the way Masterverse went about them with the new articulation and design and weapons, I'm just like, yeah, I'm so glad to add them to my collection. We have so many different creatures and figures, and He-Man's a Skeletor, so of course Eternia needs more Trollins and some Hobbits, inventors, and his own unique personality going back to the movie and comics and whatnot. But really awesome set. I mean, if you like both of these figures, you want to add just some more different, smaller scale characters to your Masterverse or even Classics line will fit in, I go over to Big Bad Toy Store and check them out and pick them up. I think they're still in stock last I checked. I think they came out terrific. So I appreciate everybody watching. And until next time, take care.